Welcome back to Self-Wired Happiness. My name is Monica. Here at Self-Wired Happiness, we unlock the secrets to a long, happy, and successful life. On our last episode, we were talking about brainwaves and the different types of brainwaves. In today's video, I want to just delve a little bit deeper into the brainwaves as well. On the next image, you're going to see the types of brainwaves and how they look like. The delta brainwaves, they tend to be long in terms of cycles per second. And then the gamma waves, you can see that they have like 40 cycles per second to 100 cycles per second. So they are very fast, but they are coherent brainwaves. The only brainwaves that we say that we should be careful about would be the high beta range brainwaves, because they are not coherent. They are like firing out of coherence. Gamma waves are very good for concentration. Beta waves are good for understanding your external environment. They help you with logic. The only beta waves that we really don't want to stay in for a long time, extended times, is the high beta brainwaves, which are associated, with the survival mode. Then we have the alpha brainwaves. You have the alpha brainwaves when you're relaxed and when you're doing great. So then we have the, when you're deeply relaxed, then you have the theta brainwaves. And then when you're dead asleep, you have the delta brainwaves. You can see these brainwaves right here. This screen, I want you to see that brainwaves are measured in hertz, right? Cycles per second. And the gamma waves have the highest cycles per second. And these gamma waves, they are great waves. You have these gamma waves when you're happy, when you're in a compassionate mood, when you're kind, when you're in this great state of mind. You have the gamma waves, and they're the fastest and the most coherent. And people like Yonji Rinpoche, he's been meditating for 10,000 hours. He has these types of waves. And they did a study of people who meditate for a long time, and they are able to sustain gamma waves throughout the day. The rest of us, we get into high beta brainwaves because we don't meditate well and we don't do it, often. So we do get into these states of, high beta brainwaves, while meditators, even if they're facing the same challenges as we do, they have the pleasure of having a happy day because they are in gamma waves. Their brainwaves is in gamma waves all the time. So they're firing higher, they're thinking more logically, they are happier. All the more reasons for you to value meditation. We also talked about moving from beta to delta through meditation. And we do the reverse of how we grow up. When we grow up, we move from delta to theta to alpha to beta. And we want to move from beta to alpha to theta waves to delta waves, and then fall deeply asleep, especially during the night. So when we are waking up, we also go through the same process. We move from delta to theta to alpha and then to beta. We want to meditate when we wake up so that we stay longer in alpha than moving very quickly up to the high range beta waves. We want to avoid that as much as possible. If you meditate for a long time, then you will train your brain to have the gamma waves. But these ones, you earn them. Where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, neural firing flows. If you would like to measure your brainwaves, there are products on Amazon. Like there is this headband, and you can see the link below.
there's this headband that you can use and put on your head, link it with your phone, and then as you meditate, just wear the headband, and then you will see how your brainwaves are changing. There is this headband you can buy on Amazon, link it to your phone, and when you're meditating, you can track and see how your brainwaves are moving, whether they are moving from high beta to alpha. That's really cool. I think you can also track it to see if when you sleep, you go into deep sleep. So that's really amazing. I think these devices are really good to help us keep our meditation discipline and keep track of it, which is wonderful. So grab one of those. I think those ones will be a wonderful addition to your practice. Let us know with time, 3 months from now, let us know how it goes. I am really curious to see how everything goes. They're kind of pricey. I'll put the link below, but if you can afford it, I think it's a really wonderful addition to, your meditation practice.
So before we continue to today's topic on brainwaves, I wanted to ask you to please donate to my GoFundMe. I have a follower. She's a single parent living in Kenya. She's currently unemployed and she would like to start a small business so that she can help her 2 children. Please donate, even if it's $20. If we get 100 people donate $20, we'll be able to help reach the goal. So that we can help her start a small business. We all know that we are about to get into an economic recession, and some of us are able to muscle through the economic recession, and some of us will not be able to muscle it through without help. So if you are able to help, please just donate to that fund, and I will put the link below. That would be amazing. So please donate whatever you can to that fund, and amazing things will happen for you. So donate if you can. Let's move into today's video. In today's video, I would want to talk about brainwaves, continue a little bit about brainwaves. I wanted to share this story that I saw on YouTube about this Air Force pilot. She was talking about her daughter, who was a diplomat stationed in China. She received a call from her daughter, and her daughter was in distress because she was having problems with her health.
Last year, Catherine Werner, a US diplomat stationed in China, told her parents she was experiencing strange sounds and sensations in her apartment. Her health was declining rapidly.
Just struggling, and she's just a shell of what she was.
And so the mom naturally wanted to find out more, and she went to China. And they found that for some reason they suspect that it's the Chinese government that was putting some sound signals in her room, and this caused her to have a traumatic brain injury.
Her mother, Laura Hughes, an Air Force veteran, was so alarmed she quickly booked a flight to China.
You notice when something's wrong with your children, and there was something very wrong with Catherine.
If you know from my last video, we know that brain waves are also affected by, our external environment. For example, sound is a wave, light is a wave. When you're breathing, you're causing vibration. When your heart is pumping, you're also causing vibration. So everything, can lead to us having these coherent brainwaves, how we are breathing, the kind of noise that we are receiving from the environment. All this is affecting our brainwaves because our bodies have to process all this information. I don't know what kind of signals that the enemy put in her room, but it seems that it distorted her brainwaves to the point where it distracted her health. So you just listen for yourself.
Laura tried replacing the apartment's air filters and buying imported food. Nothing helped. And then Laura says she started feeling it too.
We heard a very high-pitched sound in Catherine's bedroom, and we heard a very low pulsing sound in the living room. Our heads would pulse. You would feel like you would want to regurgitate. You could become instantly paralyzed, instantaneously fatigued.
So when the mom goes to China, she's trying to do all these things, replacing the air filter, buying new good food, because those are the things that we normally think when we are out of health. So this woman starts feeling the same sounds from her daughter's living room. Her head is pounding. These are high-pitched sounds and low-pitched sounds, and her head is pounding. That shows that already you can see that these are starting to affect her brainwaves, because we know sound waves. We process sound waves in our brain, and when it's too high then too low, it's affecting the frequency of your brainwaves. So it's obvious that somebody is messing with her whole system, messing up with her whole brain.
Laura has also developed visual problems, including sensitivity to light, which is why she's wearing dark glasses today. It's similar to what US diplomats in Cuba reported feeling, in what the US government now says were targeted health attacks.
That would really make sense. When somebody starts distorting your brain waves, you will probably have problems processing either, all the other waves in your body, I think, because if you're not able to be coherent, then your whole body is out of sync, right? So the way you process light waves, the way your heart beats, and the way the autonomic system processes that, all this should be affected. Even your hearing, your balance, I would expect that all this would be affected. Your energy levels, I would expect this to be affected if somebody messed up your brainwaves.
As mother and daughter struggled, Laura says their dogs also began acting strangely.
They'd be shivering under the bed when we returned to the apartment. They would vomit blood. They didn't want to go back into the apartment after long walks. And they would run down the hallway and stop just where the living room begins and just sit there, and their heads would move simultaneously. We were so scared. We didn't know, what could they possibly be looking at?
So scared. If I was this woman, I would be so scared, because obviously right now it's easy to see that their brainwaves have been damaged, but this is not the first conclusion you jump into. You're not thinking, oh my gosh, my whole signal is off. No, you don't know. You think it's food, you think it's diet, you might think it's the air, you think you haven't done enough exercise. You're not really thinking that something is extremely wrong with the noises and the pulsations that you're hearing. You're not thinking that sound can really affect you that much. But sound can, and I want you to realize that because brainwaves have the ability to heal us, there are also brainwaves that can actually damage you further. And this is why I want to caution you when you go to YouTube and you want to download meditations, and then in the middle of a meditation, somebody starts advertising soap and distorts that signal that you are listening to. I want you to be very, very picky. If you want to download your meditations, then download your meditations. Make sure that when you're downloading whatever meditations that you want to, or if you're using an app, that the frequencies, are not irritating for you. They don't feel like they're out of sync, because they should be harmonizing your body, but the wrong frequency can upset your homeostasis.
After 3 months, Laura, unable to tolerate it any longer, headed back to the U.S. 3 weeks later, the State Department medevaced Catherine out of China.
So 3 months, the mom is not able to tolerate this noise, and she goes back to the US. But the daughter remains there with these frequencies firing in her room. And she had been there for longer before the mom comes. So already this is too late for the daughter. If somebody is messing up with your signal, they're poisoning you slowly, bit by bit, but you keep taking this poison for more than 3 months. Already this is worrying how long she can keep taking on these signals. The mom goes back to the US, and then a few weeks later, the US government sends this girl back to the US, thankfully, but I think it's already very, very late.
Doctors diagnosed Catherine with traumatic brain injury. Their findings were the same as they found for the US diplomats from Cuba.
Attorney Mark Zaid represents Catherine and many of the Havana diplomats affected.
There are things that are identified in their MRIs and CAT scans as showing traumatic brain injury that shouldn't be there for people who have never had concussions.
I am not shocked. If something is messing up your brain waves, that should give you trauma. If somebody is messing up your brain waves, they are affecting your neural connections. They are actually destabilizing everything, your brain, your neural connections, everything you've had wired in your brain, everything you have learned. Somebody can wipe it out. It's shocking, it's upsetting to you when you try to remember things, but they don't come to mind. When you try to do something, but you're too fatigued, you start even getting more upset. And this is very traumatizing. If it goes on for months and months, then the story gets even darker.
The State Department brought in outside experts. Their findings: the victims appear to suffer from a new type of brain network disorder. Who or what caused it? A mystery.
The United States government is still...
Who or what caused it? A mystery.
The United States government is still not sure who or what is responsible for those health attacks.
Leaving...
I don't believe her, not 1 second. I don't even know much about brainwaves, but the US government knows much more than I should, and much more than I do. They have way more resources than I do, and I can make an educated guess. And they have no clue. They don't know who or what or why. The CIA has been known to do research on brainwaves for a long time, way before I was born, and they have no clue, no idea. I don't believe it. I don't.
Laura Hughes and so many others in the dark.
I, too, have been diagnosed by the same doctors through the VA hospital in Philadelphia with traumatic brain injury.
In total, 16 Americans posted in China were evacuated after reporting sounds or symptoms. But other than Catherine, the U.S. says none of them are considered confirmed cases.
Some people have suggested that maybe it's all psychosomatic mass hysteria.
Science doesn't lie.
Call me cynical. I don't expect any truth from the government. Even the girl, she's stuttering.
These scientists and these doctors and specialists have been working very hard and long on us. There is no way you can fake this.
Have they told you or Catherine whether this is permanent damage?
Yes, it looks like it.
If you happen to lose neural connections, I want you to understand that your situation is not permanent. The brain has an ability to change itself. This is why human beings, we are very, very resilient. We have the ability to change our mind. Even from trauma, people have recovered from stroke. The human mind is resilient. And I believe that this is not the end of her. She should understand like neuroplasticity. Our brain can do amazing things. I would not discount her ability to recover.
You or Catherine, whether this is permanent damage?
Yes, it looks like it.
The NIH is now studying the syndrome, but Laura is calling on the State Department to do more.
I do not believe that our military or diplomats are safe because this weapon system is creating havoc.
And do you worry that this could happen to other diplomats in other countries?
That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here.
And Hughes is speaking out, she says, because her daughter and the other diplomats cannot without fear of losing their jobs. Many told NBC they fear the government is downplaying what happened. The State Department says it took quick and decisive action after confirming a case in China and is providing employees with the best medical care back here in the U.S.
Well, you hear from the mother and daughter, and it's so convincing, and then you hear about the pets, and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, so you wonder, like, what is causing this? What kind of weapon could they be using?
They are still investigating, Huda.
I don't know why, I just have a feeling that it was their brainwaves that was distorted. I don't know how you think about it. You put in your comments below. Let me know what you think. But I definitely think, personally, that the diagnosis should be easy. Your brainwaves were messed up. Somebody messed up your brainwaves, and now your body, is acting funny. You're throwing up 1 minute, you're tired 1 minute, you can't process light signals. It's your brainwaves, they are really that important.
The strange sounds initially pointed to a sonic weapon, but an FBI report this year ruled that out. Now, U.S. officials tell NBC News they are considering the possibility of an electromagnetic weapon, which could cause brain damage. Certainly a lot more reporting we've got to do on this.
My goodness.
Stay on it when you think about her saying it's likely permanent.
Yeah.
She's wearing those glasses because the light bothers her.
And the other diplomats in the military out there?
Yes, I think other diplomats in other countries should know what they are in for. Somebody can distort your whole life by messing up with your brainwaves. This is serious. I think this is a brainwave problem. This is how I choose to diagnose this issue. I know the US government cannot confirm or deny anything, but I'm offering clues and insights. I don't know what gives me the audacity to do that, but I think if they have no clue, then they can take my suggestions for what it is. What kind of a weapon they could be using? They're just using technology that messes up your brainwaves. That's the weapon. These women are worried, what will they be doing? Yeah, they're messing up your brainwaves. They know that if they mess up your brainwave, they mess up your whole system. It's just that simple because we are electromagnetic beings. I don't know how this can be fixed, maybe by introducing a brain signal that corrects that old, that bad signal that came in. I don't know. I just think, there's a lot we don't know because we don't have the resources, but we know that the government has the resources to know this information. They have way more money than I can think of, but we are in debt, right? Because choose not to balance the books, and then they choose to tell you they cannot confirm or deny what caused this or what caused that. I don't believe I mean, I don't believe the government is that stupid. I just believe that someone knows something and somebody doesn't want to say what it is. I think this brainwave technology has been there for a long time, but we don't know about it, and they would rather not tell us about it. So we are kept in the dark and in ignorance, until you figure out, like, the people who rule this planet can be monsters. They can design a technology that can mess up your brain waves, and when a time comes and they need to use it to their advantage, they will not hesitate. Nobody wants to believe this. I mean, we already have, things, our stakes are high, especially when you have children. You want to really believe that the government is protecting you. The government is always telling you the truth and giving you information in a timely manner because you matter and you pay your taxes. Continue believing that. I pray for you. Continue believing that, and I pray for you. But anyway, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, so I don't know. This might be even a fake story on YouTube. I don't know. So, but what I know is, I want you to be careful when you're using the brainwave technology. Just make sure that you're exposing yourself to the correct waves, because we don't know what the future might hold. We don't know, how dangerous this can be when countries start fighting each other, and you want to protect yourself from even sound, because we process sound waves, and sound can be used as a weapon to distort your brainwaves. I know probably you haven't thought of this one as a weapon that can be used, but it can. All the more reasons for you to go out there and study more about your brainwaves and understand what amazing things they can do for you, and how to protect yourself and your energy from other people. Thanks again for tuning in to Self-Wired Happiness. I love you. Please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, namaste.